Good evening. I am Foxx your host with the most fur in most cases. Behind me are tonight's ether candles. Aren't they just amazing tonight? I can feel it. I can feel it. Sorry. Wanted to do a little Foxx Chat. I might went a little far with my previous ones. And I just want to say that, I'm not out to create a conspiracy or have you deny what is government um, or anything like that. It's basically so if you're aware of the influences, then at least then you're aware of it, right? So it's comforting to most, especially when it comes to druids, to know that not everything is directly your conscious choice or action. We have many different influences in the world, some of which we aren't seeing, and some of which many have given names. I can name at least 3 right now of the Red Prince, but I won't go into that. But there's been some talk of people saying that I'm a bit of an interloper, I guess, or any number of things that are completely untrue. I am not a part of a cult. I am not a cult leader. So I'm just saying that right now that's, not the case. Okay? It's been brought up that maybe I don't believe in God because of all I'm doing here. But I mean, look how beautiful that is. And how they react to music and things. You know? Something so beautiful and given by the spirit of the universe for me to be able to practice and do, which is an amazing thing to me. Like, being able to connect to the spirit of the universe. I mean, it's pretty much like close you can get to connecting to what, the biblical sense of God, and it's our number one rule as Druids of the Sophia of Akhet that if we have not walked the path, we cannot judge that path. I'm not out here going to tell you that, I'm not out here judging Christianity. In fact, I love what it means to be Christian. I do. I really do. I believe many more should read the Bible more than they do. Even the Quran. The Quran is biblical text. Most don't accept it because of where it originates. And, honestly, a lot of this culture derives from the Middle East. So don't be denying little bits and pieces and arguing over specifics when it's the same tales. It's the same stories. It's the same messages. They even had, a prophet who stayed in the cave for 3 days who was completely illiterate. He could not read or write. But he was getting all these messages, okay? And he went about it and stuff. And, blessed him be, a lot of people don't try to understand what is out there, and they want to just believe what they want to believe. And I just simply request for everyone to consider not what they were told what to believe, not some practiced religion of over 1,000 years, 2,000 years. It's your connection to God. It's your connection and your concept to go and look and research what that means. And it's kind of like trying to figure out how something works, but you only have one manual. That's incomplete. To which, it might be able to be built upon. It might be able to be talked about. It might even somewhat run. But without that extra manual of understanding, if it breaks down, if you don't know what to do out of it, I'm kind of talking in circles, so I'm kind of hoping I make a little bit of sense here. I encourage free thought. I encourage life. I encourage the gratitude, the certitude, and the privilege of having the gift of life. And I encourage wellness, goodness. I encourage to love, to care for everyone. If you want to get biblical, Jesus didn't just hang around the faithful, okay? He didn't just hang up with the Pharisees, and he didn't just hang out with the Jewish synagogues in those buildings. He went out, and he went out to anywhere that would listen to him, whether they would listen to him or not. That's how much he knew and he believed. That Essene is the best that you could ever know or get to know. He was there dining with sinners. He was there communicating and healing people, no matter who they were, or the fact it was the Sabbath, as the Pharisees were so uptight about. They didn't mind he was healing and all that good stuff, but once he started talking about freedom of thought and kingdom come instead of what the Pharisees have taught and everything, kind of just got a little mixed. And I want you to realize that the perception of things is part of the confusion. Okay? It's part of the turmoil. When we take specifics to literacy or specifics to how we feel or what we're taught, it creates a divide. You got these people worshiping the same thing, divided by tribes. Why? Because of how it's done? Because of how it's looked at? And it's about the unification that I'm trying to do. The united people, the power of the people has to be relevant. We can all tolerate what we don't understand or don't want to believe. In the Order of the Sophia Ket, there's Catholic Druids, there's Muslim Druids, there's even science Druids who are completely agnostic. They at least can accept that the ether exists, the infinite energy and particles within the substructures of what we call reality, quote, quote, okay? All this talk in science of new dimensions and stuff being discovered, and how can you sit there in the face of that and not know by sound, vibration, and energy, this is all impossible, right? Maybe I'm diving too far into all of this, and I certainly don't want, you guys to think that, like, that you're out of the loop. I want you in the loop. I want you guys to be informed. And if I'm ever talking in circles, it's only because I'm trying so desperately how to deliver everything in a way that works for everyone. For instance, I can pretty much go to any druid and start talking about the ether, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. They've worked with ether, they've built up ether, they've used it, they've generated it, they've manifested things with it. It's really a glorious and infinite substance. And if you don't believe that God is infinite, then you made God too small. I'm sorry to say. There's messengers, and there's messages, and there's a variety of a world of people, and it would be pretentious to say that a divine, all-knowing, all-powerful entity couldn't or wouldn't come to a variety of cultures in a variety of different forms. Okay? It would be pretentious to assume the will of such a deity. Even with what's written, it's, you can go back and you can see Constantine, and you can go back and you can see the Crusades and the Romans and those things that really influenced the way those were and how they were changed, written, and served at the time. Stuff was left out. We found the Dead Sea Scrolls, okay, but a lot of people discount that because it's not a part of the rewritten 100 times over scripture that, used to be on tablets and papyrus and a bunch of other things. One has to wonder who decided what stays and what goes, and I'm pretty sure it was a group of people who decided upon this. What was culturally accepting for the pagans, the Romans, the Greeks, to where we could actually be in somewhat of a harmonious stabilization versus a discord based on half-truths. Simple as that. Religion can be distorted. Faith is a different creature than religion. Faith is what you believe. Faith cannot be changed. Ideas can be changed. True faith in what you believe in, once you figure it out, there's nothing else. It's what you believe in. And I'll be damned if anybody is not entitled to that dignity. The dignity to say, I have freedom of choice, I have freedom of feeling, of what I believe in, and what I have faith in. I will always be accepting of your faith. If you choose to have faith in religion, I have no problem with that. I know many Catholics, and I know many Baptists, and the sort, who prefer the ritual practices of those. I myself go 3 times a week to a local church. So, that kind of also debunks the whole, I don't believe in God theory that has been spreading around, okay? I think part of it is because I keep on doing these ether spells and using ether-based candles for my works. And that's not... And everything I got came from the wisdoms of the Druids, or it came from nature itself. This right here, all nature, baby. No devil taught me this. This is nature here. Okay? I don't want to just make it sound like I'm defending myself, because I really don't have to. I love everyone and everything. I'm a believer in the spirit of the universe and world. I'm a believer in everything and everyone. Okay? In no uncertain ways, I know love is a strong word, but I love you. All of you. Every single last one of you. I don't care what you've done. I don't care how dangerous things have been for you, or what mistakes you've made. As far as I'm aware, everything is already forgiven. And the only ones who are judging you is yourself. If others are judging you, you need to be able to say, you know what? I know myself. I love myself. I am loved. I am cared about. And if somebody is rude to me, or making fun of me, or denying me, it is simply them and not me. I forgive them and I move on. I don't make a scene. I don't make their lives more terrible or difficult. I simply let it go and say, that's them, not me. Far too often nowadays, we're catering to how we feel versus how we think. And where how we feel is important, we got to really think about things before we act. Even Buddha said, if it's not true, if it's not nice or kind, if it's not helpful or loving, it just shouldn't be said. It shouldn't be typed. The world has enough hatred in it without us adding to it. Believe me, the people behind it all are plenty good at covering all of that themselves, and they won't be there for you in the end. I will be there for every single one of you. I have great hope for you, all of you, and the world. I believe in the power of unity. I believe in the power of collaborated prayer or spell casting. I believe the ether spawns to goodness. And we don't cause harm. We try to be guides. We try to be lights. And that's just how that is. I don't want to bring up too much more time because of phone space. But that's kind of what I wanted to say on tonight's Foxx Chat. Also, tonight happens to be the unicorn shower, they're calling it, which is lighting up stars as they pass, and it's an impressive light show. If you're able to see it tonight, please do. Love it. Feel it if you can't in the clouds. I know how that is about clouds. I live in Everett, okay? That's close to Seattle, okay? That's home of the rain. Like, what breaking skies do we ever have, even in the summer, okay? So I understand. So try to feel them at least. And I hope you enjoy my programming. Please like and subscribe, share, and just basically all I'll ever ask you to do is love and be grateful for nature, for other people, and forgive whether they're forgiveless. Love, even if they're loveless. Be the example. Be the one that says, I love you, man. I love you, girl. I'm not going to marry you, but I love you. You're cared about. You're thought about. You're loved. Hugs are free. Smiles are charity. Keep these things in mind. Really try to be your best and highest self, as if you're already your higher self now, and we're already shifted into the higher dimension. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. Without further ado, I wanted to thank again to Michael Hansen, or Owen Blaze, if you prefer, and for providing us music tonight. I want to also thank all Druids of the Saphia Ket. I want to also thank all those on the astrological clocks and in training. You know who you are, and I love you guys. You are the most awesome lights I've ever met, and thank goodness we met, because we are going to make this world such an awesome place. Can you feel it? Alright. Without further ado, again, blessed partings for now, but never in spirit.